All right, Coach, if you want to start with an opening statement, then we'll open for questions.
So very disappointing loss. Kind of different than the other ones as far as having the lead late, which means you're controlling the game, 6 minutes left. I think we score 5:43. And so either side can win it, defense stops, the offense has the ball. So, make 3 first downs, make them use their timeouts and win the game. It's everything that you want. Then they stop us. So then defense has a shot. And, if we stop them, win the game. So both sides having a shot, it's very discouraging. Usually you just get one shot. And so if either one does their job, we're sitting here with a really big win, versus a very talented team. So tough one to swallow, probably tougher than the other ones, because it was right there.
Questions for Coach? Nick Suss, you're up first.
Lane, can you kind of just talk us through the decision making on the last 2 offensive drives, the 3 and out, and then the last drive there, how it ended?
As far as
on the, it seemed like you all came out a little bit conservative on the 3 and out, and then not using the timeouts early on the last drive.
Yeah. So the first one, you're in 4 minutes, so that's what you do. I know you're not used to seeing it because we don't usually do it, but you got to run the ball, and we're thinking that those situations, John gives us the best chance, and you got to let the clock run down like we did. Just felt in the 2 minute, we were trying to push it downfield, and when he gets tackled, the guys weren't way down there to have to use the timeout, so just trying to get back and have him, and it could have worked. Like we throw the ball to Kenny, and wherever he was, the 10-yard line, so we would have had that last timeout, to call it with 3 seconds right there and have a chance to win the game. So you want to conserve them as long as you can, in situations. So unfortunate Kenny drops that, or it would have been a crazy ending there. I don't know, you guys probably know better than me. I felt like he was down, the 10-yard line, so we'd had one play with 3 seconds to win the game. I mean, we would have went for 2, so to try to win the game.
John with WCBI.
Lane, you guys were obviously right there, as you just mentioned, in a couple of those games too earlier this year, not even just today, like, the Alabama game, Arkansas. And so is learning how to kind of effectively closing out these games, is that something that comes with building a new program with new guys, or how do you kind of really build that ability with a new group?
I think that's always the case. If guys aren't used to winning, you got to, and I talked to him about it. It's not a magic point. There's no pixie dust. You got to make more plays than they do and execute the situations. And, that's what winning teams do, so I don't know. I'd like to think they think we're going to win, but, winning teams have that feeling like, hey, we got the ball, we're going to go win. They got the ball, we're up, we're going to stop them and win. So it's a mentality that, I try to talk it, throughout the game, like, hey, this is it. I was telling them, hey, we're going to stop them on defense, get the ball back, and, in the game running the ball for over 300 yards rushing, versus Auburn. So it's what should have happened. We didn't do it. I think, again, John, he gets so excited that I think he wants to make a play that can be good and bad. He pulls the ball on the zone read because he just, he's so competitive, and wants to play versus, the ends wide and hand it off. So that's what you get with him, and I understand that, especially because he doesn't play as much. So it was good that we got him involved early. The 2 quarterbacks and the 2 running backs, all had, over 50 yards rushing in the game. So it was good that we had answers to the issues last week. These guys copied them like they should and came out, which they normally don't do, dropped 8, played odd tight and dropped 8 the whole first quarter. And so, we had some new runs, some new wrinkles. So we knew if we didn't do that, we were going to see that all year long. So that was good, and actually ran them out of it, and they got back to 4 down after that. So I think we were a lot more patient. Again, here's 51 runs in the game. Well, we run the ball more than anybody in the conference.
Parrish Alford.
Hey, Lane, from your vantage point, what did you see on Auburn's last touchdown, the long play to Williams with Kenny covering? What did you see, or Kedron? What did you see there?
I don't know. You guys can probably see better than me from, seeing TV and stuff and press box. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys are here. It doesn't look like it. So you're watching TV. You probably see better than me. I just look like we were in man and we got beat. So very unfortunate. I'm not making any excuses. I look out there, the game's on the line, and I look out there in the nickel in the right corner are two people that a week ago were on offense. So that's just a situation that we're in. 4 and 6 are out there trying to make call. We're actually telling them what to do during the game. This is like high school, but it is what it is.
What did you get an explanation on why the kickoff play was not reviewed?
Well, they said they did. So, you don't really challenge anymore in college because they review everything supposedly. So there's no use of challenging because, I go to the guy and he says they looked at it and said they didn't see anything. So even when they don't stop it, they're still looking. Now, why they didn't stop and look closer, I have no idea. That's equivalent of a scoring play, which they stop all the time now, forever, it feels like. So I don't know. Someone said post game that looked like his finger definitely moved, but whatever.
James?
I know it was mentioned in the last question with, 4 and 6 both being on the field on defense. Is that something we can expect to see in the future? Is it just going to be a this week thing because of COVID numbers?
I don't know. I mean, they're over there, and so credit to them. This is I thought we're playing Auburn in an SEC game, trying to win an SEC game, and it's like high school. We got 2 players that were on offense at the start of the week, going over there trying to learn all these calls, playing defense. So just is what it is. For whatever reason, we got hit over there with COVID and injuries a lot.
Nate Gabler?
One more question about that clock management. You guys have that 4th and 5 from about midfield, 4 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. Why take that timeout instead of just taking the 5-yard penalty when you're going to punt?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's very fair. We were trying to draw them off sides with a hard count. And so we usually figure, okay, hey, the timeout's not as important because we're ahead. And so they're going to end up having to use their timeouts. But that's a very fair question.
Nick Suss?
What look did you see on the fake field goal try that kind of made you want to go for that in the third quarter?
It was just something we'd said during the week, that special teams guys felt good about it, and that flip, and I think the flip was a little bit short, so he kind of had to come back a little bit, so he couldn't run on the edge. And I don't mind fake field goals when they don't work. It's not the end of the world because you can miss the field goal, and so I think we missed the same exact spot, same hash versus Florida, when we tried to kick. So I know fans, people say, oh, you missed that. Well, you can miss the field goal too. Fake punt, that's the disaster, when you don't make them.
When you have situations like that one and the interception in the end zone that kind of seem to be repeating through these first 5 weeks of the season, what do you say to your guys to kind of shore up some of those game-changing mistakes?
Well, we're always going to be aggressive. Our players know that. We're going to, fake things, go for it more than on 4th down than anybody in the country. So I think that your players like that. You have confidence in them. So I think that's a good thing. But the interception was very disappointing. Now they covered it really well, but he just threw it so late, especially after the emphasis all week. Outside of that, he did a really good job. There's a 3rd down to Mingo where he didn't force the ball and checked it down, and he ended up making it on 3rd and 10, make the 1st down. So on that touchdown drive, so that was good to see.
Nate Gabler?
What's the status on Jaylen Jones? Obviously, he's out now. Saw a report that it was an upper body injury. How is he?
He is out for the season. He had surgery, so very unfortunate, especially at a position that we need help and a great kid. And so he is out for the year.
Is it an upper body injury?
Yes.
Any further questions for Coach?
All right.
Hey, Matt. You want to pack up the stuff and I can just keep you right from? I'm bringing everybody in. If you want.
Questions for Jerrion Ealy?
I got a question for y'all. Why all y'all got masks on and we on the screen?
I would figure it's because we're all sitting about 4 to 6 feet apart in the press box.
Okay, I was just wondering. I mean,
All right. Nick Suss, you're up.
Jerrion, just your reaction to the way that game ended. It's a couple of close losses for y'all in a row. How does the locker room kind of react after one where you have so many opportunities to win it and can't pull it out?
Just devastated. Devastated that we couldn't pull through once again. And it's more frustrating than anything, you know? More frustrating that we're not getting the right plays and the things we need to have done at the end of the game to win the game. So it's just very frustrating.
I mean, last week, Coach Kiffin said he was a little disappointed in the way y'all were consistent in the run game. Seemed like that took a step forward today. Did you guys feel like you did take a step forward running the ball?
Yes. O-line played on that side of the glass, and when that happens, it just create run lanes. And it's easy to run through an open lane. So
Any further questions for Jerrion? James, you're up.
Hey, Jerrion, rough loss today. Just a quick question kind of about baseball. Are you going to be tuning into the inter-squad game that's happening after the game today?
I'll watch it on Facebook. Other than that, I'm just go back to the house and hide myself.
Thank you.
Go into hibernation.
Any further questions? All right. Thank you, Jerrion.
Thank y'all.
Go get that, man. Again. Hey, you dropped your mask. Who else are we getting, Kyle?
Corral and Jacquez Jones.
Questions for Jacquez? David Johnson.
Hey, Jacquez, 2 weeks in a row now, the defense has played pretty good. Not well enough to win, obviously, but pretty good. Can you put your finger on what kind of triggered the turnaround for you guys after such a rough 3-game start?
We just know that we had to get better. But the key thing you said is not good enough to win. So that's the thing that bothers me the most. I mean, we could play good defense better than we did, but did we get the win? We didn't. So it's back to work.
Parrish.
Jacquez, extending that a little bit, how difficult is it to play winning defense when you guys have basically offensive players in there at key times in the game and you're experiencing the depth issues that you are? What is that challenge like?
It's really no challenge at all. You know, to play good defense, it comes down to want to. Tackling, it comes down to want to. I mean, it's another man. You go tackle him anytime. So it really comes down to want to. If you want to play good defense, you can. If not, you're not.
Nick Suss.
From your vantage point, can you just kind of break down what you saw in that game-winning touchdown of Auburn's?
The game, it just guys. I just say, I mean, he was in position. I mean, I really can't say. I was on the far end. I know it's a coverage where we got somebody over the top, and it looks like the safety that came over the top slipped down, and after that he was gone. I couldn't really see what the corner was at because I was on the other side, but I knew I just seen the safety who was over the top slip down. And
Is it difficult for a defense when you guys do force that punt to stop them with about 4 minutes left, and then the offense goes 3 and out, and you have to go right back out there to try and get another game-winning stop?
Not really. It's really what the defense wants, you know, to have the game on us. But at the end of the day, we got what we wanted and we didn't finish. So I feel like that's a hard thing.
Any further questions for Jacquez? Tyler Comas.
Jacquez, what do you think the defense needs to do this week in order to sharpen up a little bit for the Vanderbilt game?
Sorry, I accidentally hit mute on y'all. Can you unmute? My bad.
Yep. So Jacquez, what do you think the defense needs to do this week in practice in order to sharpen up again for Vanderbilt this weekend?
Just lock in and focus. I mean, there's plenty of times like that last play. We was in the right coverage. We just got to go make the plays. So I just say just make plays when they come to you. We just got to make them plays.
Any further questions for Jacquez? All right, thank you. Up next, we have Matt Corral. John, you're up first.
Matt, Lane just said earlier that this one's probably the toughest one to swallow because he felt like y'all were kind of right there for you. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, besides those 2 mistakes that I had, one in the red zone, you know, you just can't have that. I was late through. There was a window, and I waited. Second window, then they flowed, and like I saw that the whole way, and you know, I just should have trusted it and ran. But you know, it is what it is. It's in the past. I would say this one is the toughest to swallow, just because, man, like we worked hard all week. We did what we were supposed to do. We executed what we needed to execute. We just need to finish. Like that. I mean, that's really all it is. We just need to finish all 60 minutes.
Nick Suss.
On a drive like the last one there where you guys are trying to score, you got 2 timeouts left, how much autonomy do you have as the quarterback in decision-making, and how much of it – can you hear me at all?
Could you repeat that? I missed first.
Yeah. On a drive like that last one with a minute left, how much autonomy do you as the quarterback have for calling plays versus how much of it is scripted from the coaches and you're hearing it in your ear?
I mean, every time we practice 2 minutes, 1 minute 45, 1:20, 1 minute 20 seconds, 2 timeouts, 1 timeout. Like, we practice this stuff every single day, and you know that's what I told the offense. And you know, we didn't get it done. We need to go back to work, and like I said, that's all we really can do. Even when we felt like we did what we were supposed to do during the week, even though we did the extra stuff, we did everything right, and it still doesn't go your way. You know, like all you can do is just keep going. That's it.
Parrish?
Matt, did you think Kenny had a chance to score had he held on to the ball at the 10?
No, but I mean, maybe if he slips that tackle, I mean, we would have been closer to the end zone. Of course, it would have helped if he caught it. But, you know, like I told him, it is what it is. We all make mistakes. We're human. You know, next play. And I know that was hurting him afterwards. I can tell that was like, you know, I had to go pick him up and tell him you can't change anything that happened. Like, it is what it is. How are you gonna respond? And I left it at that.
Nate Gabler?
Matt, just generally, we talked a lot this week about attacking that drop 8. What do you guys, when it was going well today, what were you doing differently?
I mean, we knew when they were going to go drop 8. They had personnel for it. So every time we did, we had a call for it. So, you know, and it was working. That's why we kept running the ball because it was working. Why stop? Why change?
Nick Suss?
I think I know the answer to this one, but we saw a little bit more rotation between you and John Rice than we have the rest of the year. Just what's your reaction when you have to go in and out? Does it change your perspective at all, or is it kind of same as for you?
No, not at all. I mean, I know they've always had packages for JR. And, excuse me, it really just, you know, that like a person like JR, their type of speed with his type of speed, I mean, that changes the whole defense. When he's out there, they change the defense. You have to, or you're going to run. And, you know, when we kept going back and forth, you know, and us moving fast, you could tell what type of chaos that would cause for them on them trying to get the calls. So.
Tyler Comas?
From your perspective as a starting quarterback, what are the emotions like around the team after a 1-4 start?
Not good. I mean, right now, as I tell them, right now is where we got to come close. You know, we can't separate. We can't stop or start pointing the finger. This is the time where we need to be as close as we ever been.
Any further questions for Matt? All right. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, guys.